Hello everyone. Today we will talk about postcolonial cosmopolitanism in Arundhati Roy's The God of Small Things. Cosmopolitanism comes from the Greek words cosmos and politis. Cosmos means universe, politis means citizen. So a cosmopolitan is a citizen of the world. A postcolonial cosmopolitan is different. They are not a rich tourist. They are not a person who ignores their home culture. A post colonial cosmopolitan is a person who lives between many worlds. They face the pain of colonialism, but they also dream of a new way to connect with others. Roy's novel helps us see this idea clearly. The story takes place in Kerala, India. It is the late 1960s. Colonial rule is over, but its rules remain in people's mind. Let us start with the image. Think of a river. The river flows through many villages. Each village has its own language, food, and rules. A cosmopolitan is a boat on that river. They travel, they learn new customs, they respect differences. But a post colonial cosmopolitan knows something else. They know that a bigger boat came before them. The boat was the empire, the British Empire. It forced its language, laws, and religion on the river. It said local ways were dirty or stupid. So, a post colonial cosmopolitan has two memories. One memory is of local life, the small things. The other memory is of colonial violence, the big hurt. From these two memories, they build a new ethics. They ask, how can I love my home without hating others? How can I respect other cultures without losing my own? How can I fight injustice without becoming a tyrant myself? Roy's novel answers these questions not through a hero but through two small children, Rahel and Esther. They are twins, they are 7 years old. Their story teaches us about love, loss, and the rules that punish those who break boundaries. To understand the novel, we need three thinkers. First, Homi Bhabha and the third space. Homi Bhabha is a post colonial theorist. He says that when cultures meet, they do not stay pure. They create a third space. This space is not the colonizer's house, it is not the colonized village, it is a messy in between place. For example, an Indian who speaks English with a Malayalam accent, they are not fully British, they are not fully traditional Indian, they are something new. In The God of Small Things, the third space is the river bank, the old house called History House, and the movie theatre. These are places where different worlds touch and sometimes they explode. Second, Appaya and rooted cosmopolitanism. Appaya says cosmopolitans do not need to be rootless. You can have strong local roots and still care for the world. He calls this rooted cosmopolitanism. You love your mother tongue, you love your family's recipes, but you also believe that a poor farmer in another country matters as much as your neighbor. You do not have to choose. The twins in the novel are rooted. They love IMNM, their small town. They love the river, the pickle factory, their mother Ammu, but they also feel for Veluta, the low caste man who is their friend. Their love crosses boundaries of caste and class, that is rooted cosmopolitanism. Third, Chea and the cosmopolitical. Chea asks, what if cosmopolitanism is not just about sharing feelings? What if it is about political action against injustice? He calls this the cosmopolitical. You do not just feel sad for a refugee, you ask why the refugee had to flee. You connect local suffering to global systems. You see that the same capitalism that made your shoes also destroyed a forest in another country. In Roy's novel, the cosmopolitical appears when we see that the twins' tragedy is not just personal. It is caused by caste rules, by colonial laws, by Communist Party politics, and by global capitalism. All these systems meet in one small child's body, that is the cosmopolitical. Now, let us apply these theories to the novel. We will start with the idea of nation. After independence in 1947, India told itself a big story. The story said, we are one nation, we are secular, we are modern, we have left caste behind. Roy's novel says, no, that is a lie. The nation's story hides violence. We can see that in three ways. First, the Communist Party in Kerala. In the novel, a local Communist Party is in power. The characters support them, they should fight for the poor, but when Velutha, a low caste communist carpenter, falls in love with Ammu, a high caste divorced mother, the party abandons him. Why? Because caste is deeper than politics. The party leaders send a mob to beat Velutha to death. They protect the nation's hidden caste system. Roy shows that even progressive politics can be cruel, national stories of equality are fake. Second, the love laws. The narrator says the love laws that lay down who should be loved and how much. These laws come from ancient caste rules and colonial rule. They say a Syrian Christian woman cannot love a low caste Hindu man. They say a divorced mother is a fallen woman. The nation pretends these laws do not exist, but they run every bedroom and every street. Third, the history of colonization. The novel flashes back to the past. An Englishman named Colonel Limejuice built a dirty pickle factory. Another Englishman, Kari Saipu, built a grand house. The colonizers left a legacy of rules. Touch, smell, skin, color, all were judged by white standards. After independence, the Indian middle class kept these rules. They are post colonial in time but not in mind. They send their children to English schools. They mock their own language, Malayalam. They still hate dark skin. So, what does a post colonial cosmopolitan do? They break the nation's big lie. They say, I love India, but I will not obey its cruel love laws. I am a citizen of the world, but I see how the world has hurt my home. The twins, Rahel and Esther, do not understand politics, but they break the nation's story by loving each other wrongly, by loving Velutha, wrongly by touching what is forbidden. They are small revolutionaries. Let's move to the second part of Roy's vision. If big national stories are fake, what is real? The answer is small things. The novel's title is crucial. The God of small things is not a big God of temples and miracles. It is a God of beetles, dampness, stale pickles, and a child's broken nail. Roy writes in beautiful short sentences. Listen to this. It was a worst of all possible moons. A moon that presided over a sky grown heavy with lightning and thunder. A moon that made the night full of listening. She focuses on tiny details, the pattern on a dress, the smell of a river, the feel of a biscuit in a pocket. Why does she do this? Because post-colonial cosmopolitanism starts from the small. The big systems, caste, nation, capitalism are abstract, but pain is specific. A child's fear is not an idea, it is a dry throat and a racing heart. Roy asks us to be cosmopolitans of the small, to care for the specific, the local, the fragile, to notice when a small thing is crushed by a big rule. Let me give you a scene. The twins go to see a movie. It is the sound of music, but they are sad. Esther has been told by his mother to be quiet forever. He stops speaking. At the movie, Rahil holds his hand. The song Edelweiss plays. The narrator says in the background, Julie Andrews sang to Christopher Plummer about Edelweiss, but Esther thought she was singing to him. This is a small private moment. It is not political, but Roy makes it political because the love laws say that a boy who becomes silent is mad. The laws say the twins' closeness is unnatural. Roy says, no, that small hand held in a dark theater is sacred. To be a postcolonial cosmopolitan, you must learn to see such small things. You must respect local pain. You cannot fly over it with big words like progress or development. Let us look at the main characters. Some try to be cosmopolitans, some fail, some are destroyed. First, Ammu, the failed cosmopolitan. Ammu is the twins' mother. She is strong and angry. She was trapped in a bad marriage. Then she divorced, a huge scandal in the 1960s. She wants to love freely. She falls in love with Velutha, the low caste carpenter. Ammu is a cosmopolitan because she crosses boundaries. She ignores caste, she defies her family. For a few nights, she and Velutha meet by the river. They create a third space of love. But she fails, she cannot protect Velutha. When she tries to save him, the police mock her and send her away. Her love is crushed by the system. She dies young, alone, and angry. Roy shows that cosmopolitanism is risky. It can get you killed. Second, Velutha, the tragic cosmopolitan. Velutha is a communist and a carpenter. He is brilliant with his hands. He makes toys for the twins. He repairs their boat. He is also son of a low caste Paravan, a person who was not allowed to touch high caste people. Velutha becomes a cosmopolitan through love. He knows the risk, he knows the love loss, but he chooses Ammu anyway. He says little, he acts. His tragedy is that the world is not ready for him. The police beat him to death. The Communist Party abandons him. His body is found in the river. Roy shows that the post-colonial world often kills its most brave cosmopolitans. Third, Rahil and Estha are the surviving cosmopolitans. The twins survive, but they are broken. After Velutha's death, Estha is returned to his father. He stops speaking for decades. Rahil grows up lost, marries an American man, and then returns to India. At the end of the novel, the twins reunite. They are 31 years old. They go back to the river, they have sex. Many readers find this shocking. But Roy is making a point. The twins' incest is not about sex, it is about mourning. They tried to turn back time, they tried to reunite what was broken, they tried to become one body again. It is a desperate, impossible gesture of love. Are they cosmopolitans? Yes, in a broken way. They have failed the world's rules. They have been hurt by caste, family, and nation, but they still return to each other. They still remember Velutha. They still whisper, Nale means tomorrow. They keep a small hope alive. Roy does not give us happy endings. She gives us survivors. She gives us people who cannot fit in any nation, any family, any rule. That is postcolonial cosmopolitanism in its rawest form. It is not comfortable, it is not nice, it is the determination to love when all law says no.